Hey everyone, this is the Innovator's Mindset with Ivin Gunder. We're going with that. All right, my man. Okay, I am super pumped. I have Ivin Gunder. He is actually a principal is it Jacksonville, Florida? Are you in Jacksonville right now?
Right outside Jacksonville, Orange Park, Florida.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Ivan and he had to sit through two of my talks, which I'm a little like within 2 weeks, so I apologize for that. But we just got talking at the ECTAC conference here recently and just have a ton in common. Ivan is absolutely an amazing person. I really enjoyed connecting with him. He actually, we are talking and he has so many great ideas, and I coaxed him into getting on Instagram. So he just started Instagram, and let's be honest, he got one follower. It's me. I'm pretty pumped.
That's right.
But
Appreciate you. Thank you.
anyone listening right now, I listed Ivan's Instagram in the description down below. Please say hi to him. Please connect with him because this guy has so many great ideas. And I think you're going to be hearing a lot from him in the near future in the world of education. I know you're doing great work already in your school district in the state of Florida. But dude, sky's the limit, man. We're going all in. So Ivan is absolutely amazing. Ivan, if you can just introduce yourself, tell a little bit about who you are, what you do today, and how you got there. I think it's a great place to start.
Oh, well, thank you for having me there. First, I appreciate the opportunity very much. And no, I mean, yeah, you mentioned it. I'm a principal here up here in Orange Park, Florida. Been here at the school 5 years and just finished my 23rd year in education and just kind of fell into education. I was one of those kids that struggled in school, but I had a fourth grade teacher who just loved me and she made a connection with me. And that teacher ended up coming to my high school graduation, college graduation, wedding, and I still talk to her today. So if I can do just a small amount of what she did to some other students and people
Mhm.
and empower them and making connections with them, I'm proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah, and I love that because one of the things that you and I connect with, and I think is really, really important in my work, but you just really nail it in your work and your philosophy, is that you talk about this idea of intentional connection and how important that is to what we do in education. I've always said this. I don't think relationships are the end result of a great education, but they are the foundation, right? Like if
Correct.
you do not have that, if I don't trust you, it's going to be a lot harder. And this is not just, students, it's colleagues, it's people we serve in our roles. So you presented on this. And I know the feedback has been absolutely amazing on the presentations that we were talking about. When you talk about intentional connections, what do you mean by that? And what does that look like, in your practice in your own schools?
You mentioned to my, with students, I tell teachers all the time, students work for teachers they like.
Mhm.
So, but also I think it's our job to set that tone and create that positive rapport for those students and then to follow up with that. So, beginning of year, all teachers, we done a get to know you quiz or whatever it is. Well, if you just take that quiz and put it in a folder somewhere, well,
Right.
you missed the opportunity to make a connection. But if I ask you, hey, you say you like you like basketball, for instance, and you play on this team, well, the next week I'm gonna ask you, hey, how's practice going? When's your next game? And you continue that. Now you have that kid's interest there. That kid is grateful that you take interest in them. And now that's a conversation starter forever. Now that kid is moving on to another class years later. They're gonna walk past your class and be like, hey, did you watch the game last night? Who's your favorite team? And now that's a connection. Those are things that I believe humans need, students and kids really, really need it. Because if they grew up like I did, they may not getting that connection or that attention outside of these walls. So we have 6 hours a day with these kids. I don't know what these kids are leaving, going home to, but while having my presence, I'm gonna try to maximize the effort and make the most of it.
Well, it's funny because I was at FASA, you were there. I don't think we connected there, but
That's
when I was at ECTAC a couple weeks after, you like went out of your way to connect with me and share with me, and I saw you, and then we just sat down and had a great conversation. And so like when you talk about this, like it is really frustrating when I hear someone talk about like relationships, but then they don't actually like talking to you. It's like I don't know if you really live that. So that was really something that mattered to me, and it made me feel it made me feel really welcome. I'm always a little bit nervous, when
right.
I'm about to speak to an audience, and so I learned a lot about your work, and we kind of connected after, and it just like the back and forth was really powerful. And I'm sitting here. I knew you're gonna wear a suit. I knew this was gonna happen, and I'm wearing my Penny and Shaq t-shirt and stuff like that too. I just knew it when he came in, just making me look bad right away. But you you and I have a distinct love in basketball. I know you played at the college and even at the pro level, which where I'm not jealous at all, right? I'm not jealous at all. But you said right before we got on the podcast that there is, so many lessons that you learned through basketball. Now, being a basketball fanatic myself, like what are some of the things that you learned through the process of playing that you actually bring into being a principal, being a teacher? What are some of the things that you still leverage to this day?
First of all, that's a great question. I would just say caring about your teammate and being a great teammate. Like our leadership team, I understand I'm the principal and the buck starts and stop with me, but our APs and dean, every Monday morning, we have a admin meeting. We don't, before we talk about the nuts and bolts of school,
Mm.
we have a quote of the week and we have a warm up activity. I get to know you. I want to know about their lives and I want them to know that I care about them. One of our APs, Mr. Boyer, he presented with me at TAC. His son is a D1, with the high school senior, but potential D1 cross country runner. He's really good. And so he runs with him. So I ask him every weekend, what did they run this weekend? Did his time get better? And he ran the Gate River run here, which is a big run here in Jacksonville. And his goal this year was to get top 10% to get a hat. And I told him, I said, all right, don't come to work Monday without that hat. He can't work Monday with that hat. But again, being a teammate, defense was my thing. I love defense. Well, by chance, if my teammate gets beat off the dribble, I should be there to help them. It's the
Mhm.
same thing in life, same thing in education. You want to be there for each other. We all have days we all are flawed, but what can we bring to the table to help each other? Because one day I may get beat off the dribble and I may need somebody to help me. Well, if in order for I want somebody to help me, I got to help them first, but also doing it with just a purposeful care, just really meaning what you say and just caring about them. And I think that's huge. And it empowers people and help them to lead better. And now we're modeling what we want our teachers and students to do within the school, and hopefully that carries out outside these walls as well.
You said something that to me, you just said something right there, and there is this like little saying in education about principals, and it's like when you get crapped on, it's like that's why you make the big bucks. And it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't want to hear that. Like,
right.
you always, feel that too. And I always like say like, hey, you have to lead up too. Like, just like teachers want to hear they're doing a good job, principals want to hear that, but a lot of times people don't share that with you because,
Correct.
you're their boss and stuff like that too. So I think it is, but when you create that culture where it's like, hey, we're all cheering each other on, we're all pushing
Right.
each other, but we got each other's backs. I think that really, really matters. You're going into a new school year. You're sitting here on July 1st, Canada Day, by the way, just so you know,
Oh,
we're
nice.
recording this. Um, what is something that you are really looking forward to for the year coming up with your staff and your school community?
So I'm just looking forward to build on the momentum that we've built the past 4 years. Ever since I came on board, our data has gradually improved every single year. Again, I think the one of the toughest things is sustaining success. You want to sustain, and we got a new group of kids. We got a new group of ninth graders coming in, so they don't know the culture. So those opportunities there to really get in front of them again and meet them again. And then on the flip side of that, you have the seniors. They think this is their last year. They're ready to go conquer the world, but also just maintaining
Right.
the optimism too, and having some of those real life conversations with them, but not forgetting about those in the middle.
Yeah.
Those 10th and juniors too, those 10th graders and 11th graders as well, and keep that momentum, build that momentum from the ninth grade, get the juniors excited for senior year and so on. So just the new opportunities that we have to connect with people, but also just another class, a class of 26, get ready to graduate and get the diploma. And I tell students all the time, your diploma is for you, but graduation is for your parents.
Hmm.
Don't rob your parents of having the opportunity to hear your name walk across that stage. And you think your parents love you now, just wait till they hear your name and they're going to be crying and snot bubbles and everything. So just enjoy the moment. And, because one day it's going to be your turn, so just the new opportunities we have and and I feel blessed and fortunate to be able to lead a school because, if you'd have told me this back in fifth and sixth grade, I was like, nah, not me. That can't happen but I had people that took time out to nurture me and just love me and care for me, to show me a different way. So I feel like it's my duty and I enjoy to give back.
Well, Ivan, you and I were talking prior, and we were talking about some, stuff in our work, and you asked me for some advice,
Yes, sir.
and what I So you talk about relationships, you talk about connection, you talk about this and how intentional it is. And I think that really, really matters. But what I really appreciate about you is the advice I gave you. I saw you doing it immediately. And I think one of the things that's really helpful when you have a principal who's willing to learn, who's willing to grow and push themselves, because then it's easier to ask people to do that when they see you doing that as well. I actually, I mentioned Ivan's Instagram account. I Googled Ivin and I didn't find his Instagram. I found all these people talking about how awesome he is. So this is, I know that you don't just say these things, that people really appreciate that connection. So I'm like excited that this is the beginning of a friendship. And, you know, I'm expecting you to come down to a Magic game sometime, hang out.
Yeah.
And, you know, and just learning more from you. So everyone, please follow Ivin on Instagram. He's going to be posting their stuff consistently coming up really, really quick. And I'll tell you, if you were a stock, I'd be buying some stock right now. That's what I'm telling you.
Thank you.
So Ivin is an incredible person. I know you're going to hear more about him. Absolutely. Not that this is the first time anyone's ever heard about you, but geez, this is the first time I know about you, man. And I'm so impressed with all you do. So make sure you connect with Ivin. Ivin, thanks so much for taking time out of your own work to take time to do my podcast. So I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.